All right. So we are live right now, ladies and gentlemen. I am here. This is the Aim for Your Zenith interview series. I'm Stevie Zenith here. Basically, what this platform is set up to do is to inspire millennials to go out and get it, no matter what walk of life they are a part of, whether it's music, whether it's business, whether it's fitness, like the guest here today, my homeboy Marcus Watts. Let me give you a little background on my dog Marcus Watts. College basketball superstar, in my opinion. This man's post moves were on point when we were in college, man.
Original Dark City, man. They don't even know, bro. They don't even... 06 to like 06.
It's been a minute, dog. It's been a minute. But yeah, we both went to Florida Gulf Coast University, Dunk City. Marcus is a college hooper, as I said before. Fitness guru, I like to call him. If you check out this man's Instagram, he's all over the place getting it done. He owns his own CrossFit Gym. He's the co-owner of his own CrossFit Gym. He's out here really inspiring folks, really getting people fit, branding, all of that stuff. So, you know, just without further ado, give it up for Marcus Watts. Yeah! What's up, homie?
Yeah, man. Hey, no, bro, I'm just, you know, I'm happy to be here with the chance to share. You know, maybe, you know, I'm always, you know, like I said, trying to motivate people to just search for that higher greatness. And, you know, it's good to connect with you and see, you know, saying, you know, that you're doing the same thing. You know what I mean? I remember, you know, SJ, you know what I mean? I remember the old school. So, you know, it's cool to see people that are, you know, out doing something positive, just pursuing their dreams, man. Dream chasers all day, you know?
Cool, man. Very nice. Very nice. Well, I'm going to just get right into this right now. As I said, Marcus owns his own CrossFit Gym. Starting off like early on, like what got you interested in, you know, being involved in CrossFit in this platform? Because I know like you were always an athlete, you were always a superior athlete, but I remember I was talking to you the other day and you're like, bro, I'm so much older now and I'm more of an athlete than I ever was at 22 years old. So, you know, like what got you started? What got you interested in this platform?
Yeah, you know, to be honest, a challenge, you know. So a little bit of a backstory. I'm good for telling backstories, but you know, so at the time I was you know, I played ball. You know, I played overseas for probably about 6 years, all over South America, New Zealand, Denmark, Portugal. And, you know, it was a blast, man. And after one of my deals, one of my stints in South America, I had torn up my groin, so I was back home kind of rehabbing. And during that time, I just got real interlaced in the community, and I knew what I wanted to do. You know, even back when, you know, I was younger, you know, I wanted to work with youth athletes. I wanted to somehow be engaged in, you know, academics and fitness. And so, you know, at this time, you know, I you know, through college, I had already even, you know, done so many reports and projects, you know, in college about how I was going to put together these, you know, huge facilities and affect the community and whatnot through fitness. You know, and like I said, always. The real journey is finding a way to get back to the youth athletes. And I actually have a couple projects right now, but so at the time, you know, I got injured, and when that happened, I just decided that I had gotten so interlaced in the community that I was not going to go back and pursue basketball, because that really was just, basketball was never a means to an end. It was just a way to increase my credentials and gain respect in the athletic community, you know, network. So, man, I just dove right in, and my first project was Infuse Enterprises LLC, and that was the first company. And you know, Infuse was all my youth athletes, and I did that for a few years. And basically, at the time, I was training a semi-pro football team. Anthony Hargrove is originally from Port Charlotte, where I was born, and the team that they had in the area, I was training them. Well, I ended up training the team, and the next thing you know, they asked me to come out for the team. So I come out, and there was a guy on the team that I would end up connecting with who owned a CrossFit gym up in Sarasota. And I would just look at him and be like, man, like, these guys are all athletes, but there's something different about this guy. He was extremely flexible. He could move really well. He was extremely fast, but undersized. He was powerful. His legs were massive. So long story short, I ended up dropping into his gym one day. And literally, I never went back to my old style of training. At the time, I was training for a physique show. And I never have went back to that style of training again. It was the only thing that made me feel like I was back in high school, back in college, like preparing for the grind. And I think the workout was like 2 minutes long. It was like 21, 15, 9. So you do 21 of each, 15 of each, 9 of each. It was like kettlebell swings and wall balls. And I just remember thinking that I could never go back. And just like that, you know, I kind of changed my focus.
Cool, man. Sorry, I had it on mute. So you get my smoke alarm going off. It's going on. But yo, that's dope, man. So basically, it was like, you know, you faced some trials and tribulations. You faced a little adversity. You got injured, but you didn't let the injury dictate your life. And that's what I tell people when I'm doing, you know, one-on-one consultations. You know, whether you're going through adversity or not, you know, use that adversity to better yourself. What did you learn from that situation? You know, and as you can see, Marcus took that injury and used it to his advantage. Now he's a CrossFit owner, you know, so definitely pursue your dreams no matter what happens. You know, I definitely am a big proponent of that. Definitely pursue your dreams. Okay, so let's get into our next question here. You know, a lot of times people say, you know, being successful, you have to do what you enjoy doing. So what made you decide to really just take that leap of faith? Like, you know what, I don't care what it takes. I'm opening my CrossFit gym. Like, what was it that triggered in you to be like, you know, no matter how much it costs to start up, no matter any of that stuff, what made you decide to be like, you know what, I'm just gonna jump out the plane and the parachute's gonna lift up, I'm gonna float, you know? So what made you decide to really get it popping with CrossFit?
Well, you know, kind of, man, like, you know, how we were touching on before is that, you know, people kind of lose sight of just having that dream of just like, man, I really want to do this. I have a passion for this. And like, I'm just going to find a way to make it happen and do something that I enjoy. As where most people will see, you know, their friends are going to tell them that, man, is this really smart? Or, you know, do you think I don't think it's a good idea. Well, that's crazy. And the chances of that working of this, and then they get discouraged and they continue to do things that they feel they have to do. And like in this time and age, you know, it's not 20, 30 years ago or even 10 years ago, you know, in the time, you know, that our parents were growing up and that we were a lot younger, man. You have to go out and be a go-getter and really be an entrepreneur, and you can create opportunities for yourself. So really, man, it was just about, one, not having a fear of failure, because I failed so many times I can't remember. I mean, on the court, I mean, you know, at jobs, I mean, whatever it was, I've made mistakes. But mostly through athletics, I've learned that like tomorrow's still gonna come, and like yesterday doesn't even matter after tomorrow comes. So I was like, man, you know, I'm gonna take this leap of faith because I've done the things to put myself in the position to do this. I felt prepared. If I didn't feel prepared, then it wouldn't have been a smart thing to do. But I said the worst thing that could happen is I fall flat on my face, and at the best, I go out and I change some people's lives and change my own life at the same time. So
dope, man. Dope. That's really an inspiration. You definitely inspire me because, like I said, I look on your Instagram and just you're welcome, man. You know, like you teaching people, and I see some of my other friends, and they're all about CrossFit, bro. Like it's crazy. Like you know how like people post like all these Instagram posts with them, like doing what they're doing, like
it's crazy.
Yeah, CrossFit is so swag. CrossFit Lawless is so swag, dog. Like,
you know, I will say that people do say that they enjoy, you know, the name of our gym and Lawless, you know, and they just like, yeah, I like that, you know. And again, you know, and we'll touch a little bit more on this later with the branding, but like, it couldn't just be, and like I don't like down like other people that choose names for, you know, their business or whatever, but like we need a call to action. You need to understand what we're about. So the first, you know, as we're going through names and stuff, I always look up synonyms of the, you know, of the word, and I want to get deeper into the meaning. And man, just an unbridled, unruly passion. You know what I mean? It goes a lot further than just, you know, being an outlaw, to which most people, you know, police like Lawless, what the, you know what I mean? They reach it. So, but yeah, man, just, you know, it's a passion for what we do. We don't fit inside any walls, and, you know, we're out to break molds, and, you know, we don't have a certain criteria. We just want everybody to be better. And even deeper inside of CrossFit, you know, I always tell people, man, CrossFit is just a vessel. You know what I mean? And as a businessman, you have to be smart. Hey, man, if people that think CrossFit is going away, you're crazy. You're crazy. It's not a fad. You know, I mean, even when I first read the manual to become a CrossFit level 1 trainer, I was like, somebody took all the stuff I've been doing my whole life and just rolled it into one thing. You run, you jump, you throw, gymnastics, you do some weightlifting, cardio. I'm like, it's just all rolled into one. So as a businessman, I was like, well, been on ESPN the last couple of years. It's not going anywhere, so might as well exploit that name. And if that's what it takes to bring people into us, I mean, we have people at the gym. Some people only like weightlifting. Hey, some people only like powerlifting. When I say weightlifting, I mean Olympic weightlifting. Some people only like powerlifting. Some people are really endurance junkies. And we just mold it to whatever you really want it to be. But, that was the vessel. And, it, like I said, it's helped to change my life and get me going where I wanted to go. So.
Cool. So, like, I've never done CrossFit, and we used to lift and stuff together back in the day and stuff like that. So I consider myself kind of in shape, but y'all boys is out there. Y'all ain't playing, dog.
And that's kind of what I was touching on when I made that comment to you, was that, like, because I was gonna say the same, like, bro, like, I remember, bro, for people that don't know, you can hold your own, you know what I mean? And it's like, we all, we're in pretty good shape, and I mean, dude, I was, playing on teams with, had, athletes have been to the Olympics and coaches to the Olympics. And these are, some of the best players in the world. But at age 31 now, I don't want to know what I would have done to myself if I ran into my old self. I mean, because ridiculously how much stronger I am. I don't occupy much more space, but I'm much less prone to injury. I know my limitations more, and that comes a little bit with age. But because every day I'm testing something different, I'm not just going through the motions kind of like I used to, So, and the biggest thing is squatting, bro. I'm trying to squat nonstop, man. So
I always say you either deadlifting or squatting.
Yeah, man.
You ain't playing with them baby weights, bro. You
big weights only, man. So, but yeah, man. It was a journey that started. I remember, when I first got into CrossFit, I realized I didn't know how to squat. And I was discouraged, man, because I'm like, how can I play on these, teams? I'm getting paid all this money, all these coaches and Olympic coaches, and I'm in college, and how do I not know how to squat? I don't know what mobility is or flexibility truly is. And, when I first started, even as a coach, I would fall backwards with a barbell, just a barbell, unloaded, because I lacked the mobility, and so it was like starting all over. So it's like, I can identify with people that are a little bit nervous or scared, because you don't really know what to expect. But it's like, bro, man, it's just, if you go out and you try something different, man, it could change your life. So
cool, man. And I know you personally, like, as a CrossFit coach, I know that you're a good coach, because I remember about a year ago, you were like, bro, CrossFit is that way, bro, get on it. And, I actually did some research on it after you let me know that. And, it was just talking about, if you find a really good CrossFit coach, like,
yeah,
you're gonna be a god amongst men. Like, you take off your shirt and it's just like,
yeah, like everybody's like, oh, that guy CrossFit's clearly, what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's funny.
Yeah. So, like, I definitely want to get into it, and after we get off, I'm gonna have to holler at you about some stuff. But we'll talk about that off air. Yeah. So basically, you open up this gym. Or before you're opening up this gym, like, what are some of the obstacles that you face, whether it was, obtaining some type of loan? I don't know if you guys got business loans or what y'all did, but what was, like, the biggest obstacle y'all faced with starting up your own business?
And I think ours probably seemed like it would have even more obstacles than normal because of the way it happened. So, Justin, who, for those that don't know, Justin went to school with us, and Justin played baseball and ended up being in the Detroit Tigers farm system, and we were all good friends. So Justin and I both did a competition, and like the weekend after that, like right after the competition's over, we got this text conversation like saved somewhere, and we were supposed to frame it, but he's like, "Hey man, I think we should open a gym." I was like, all right, off the record, or he was asking me if I had still planned on opening one because he knew. I was like, off the record, yeah. He was like, we should open one. We should do it in Fort Myers. And I was like, well, do you have a location? He was like, nope. I was like, do you have a business plan? He was like, nope. I was like, do you have a backer financially? He was like, nope. I was like, fucking, let's do it. Let's do it. And it was like straight up, that was the start of CrossFit Lawless. And like, it was like, the first issue was, okay, where are we going to locate our business? You know what I'm saying? Where are we going to put it? And the things that went into that were demographics of our area. Before you go and you start a business, you need to immediately develop your business plan, and your business plan's got to have all these things in it. And then you have to be real that as soon as you start your business, or the day that you open your business or your website goes live, your business is completely changed, and you have to now reformulate your business plan, because what you thought was going to happen now is going to be contrary to what actually is happening. So, we had to do our work on the demographics, dual income households in the Estero, the trends, the businesses that were coming, the developments in the area. We knew that Walmart was coming before anybody else in Estero really knew. So we found a location that was going to be at a high traffic area. So we paid more for rent up front, but we knew that on the back end, we would have so much exposure just based off of that and, impression. So then it was all about, all right, we got to find some backing. We needed to have an investor. We didn't have, before we wanted to go to a bank, we wanted to do something personally with somebody to develop a connection. So, and also for networking, because being able to use someone else's network as where a bank is just going to loan you money and then want their percentage back, we want their money back at a certain time, we could be able to access someone else's network. And that's always more important to you than getting any type of money. So, we found someone, we had our business plan all set. We had everything, submitted everything to CrossFit HQ, and then we lost our investor. So we lost our investor. So we had to now go back to the drawing board. We found another investor, which ended up being a much better situation. Someone that we would actually become dear friends with. Our location, everything worked out. And then it was just, just going down the list on our business plan, man. We needed equipment. We had about $80,000, $75,000 worth of equipment, most of which we still have today. And we have not had a need for more equipment. So we're about 2 years in. So it was a really good order for us. And then it was really, man, just building the community, because, anything that you do, if people don't know who you are and don't know what you do and can't see the sincerity in what you do, then nobody's going to support it. Everybody knows the business has to make money, but if that's all it's about, then I might as well go find the best deal. People pay a lot of money for the service that they come to for us when they could go other places, but it's because they believe in that. So.
Wow, I didn't even know that. I asked you that question, but I thought it was going to be just we got an investor and it worked out, boom, but see, like adversity, like you got to be prepared for adversity. Yeah. So what would you say to, whether it be an athlete trying to start a CrossFit or, your regular 9-to-5er that kind of wants to get out of that and start their own thing, and as far as like, maybe they have an idea, but they don't know exactly what they want to do, or they have the idea, they know what they want to do, they're ready to implement those steps to get it popping, but they're having issues with branding. Like, I know you're big on branding, the Watts guy. I see you on IG posting everything. And I see that all of your clients in CrossFit, they hashtag CrossFit, hashtag Lawless, all of this stuff. So branding is key, and people definitely recognize CrossFit Lawless, the brand. So I know you're kind of a brand guru. So what would you say to someone like that who's trying to get their branding off of the ground? Yeah,
so, the first thing, if you're an athlete, if you're a 9-to-5er, whatever it is, you need to know what the end goal is. Like, why are you doing it? Are you just doing it because you just want to make some money? Which you have to make a living. But what's the real purpose behind it? And then start chronologically laying out, like, how am I going to get there? What things do I think need to happen? And these things will change. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have everything out right. I set a goal that, when I started Infuse, that, within 3 years, I wanted to move to another city and be in a much larger demographic, because I felt if I could control things where I was, in a very small town, I could be successful, that when I got to a larger, metropolitan area, that I'd be able to really, flourish. So in 5 years, I wanted to have my own standalone facility. Well, all that happened in 3. So, in a year and a half, I was where I wanted. I was already at step 1, and, within, 3 years, I was already at step 2. So lay out those steps, and then you have to start at the top of the list and start working your way down. And I think the next thing I say is be realistic. Like, you're not going to be able to go 0 to 100. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to you have to put the time in. Like, you have to earn it. You know, and if you didn't have to earn it, I mean, I had more things happen to me. I mean, I've had a lot of downfalls. You know, I mean, my lifestyle's changed a lot. You know what I mean? I mean, at one point, I mean, I had times where you know, going on $2 of gas. You know what I mean? I mean, at one point, I lost my vehicle. You know what I mean? I could just, I was in a situation where, you know, the gym is doing good and it's growing, but I just wasn't in a position to do other things, and that was just a part of my journey. You know, I mean, but none of that was a struggle for me, because to me, it's all about, I know what that end goal is. You know what I mean? And is this worth it? Is this worth it to me now? Yeah, it's more than worth what I'm going to be able to do, you know, when I get to step 8 and step 9 and step 10. So, you know, be realistic about what your goals are. Lay them out. You start at the top of the list and work down. The next thing I say is go find people that are already successful. Don't be hanging out and trying to talk to your friends that have never launched a successful you want a multi-million-dollar business? Don't be talking to Joe Schmo who's barely, look, he's selling CDs out of his car, yeah. And like, I'm not saying he's not gonna get there, but like, you need to find the people that are success. Most times they will give you so much information. They'll just give it to you because they used to be in the same spot. You know, I mean, so go find the people that are successful. Go ask them questions. And stop thinking that people are just going to give you everything for free. You need to invest in continuing your education. I mean, that means buying books. That means, I mean, you know, taking online courses. I mean, going to people's seminars. I mean, yeah, these things are expensive. They cost money because people are making money from them. They understand the knowledge that it takes. You know, I mean, this is stuff, people are giving you information that they've learned over 5, 10, 15, 20, you know, 30, 40 years. Now you're going to be able to put that into your business. So, yeah, man, you know what the goal is. You know, lay out the steps, start at the top of the list, find the, you know, be real with yourself, you know, about the process that it's going to take. And that's some things that might happen to you along the way. You know, and if you still feel like it's worth it, then stay in there, and then, you know, find those people that are successful, man. I mean, I have so many, you know, people that are in, you know, situations that I would like to be in, and I know that I'm working towards that. But I mean, it's invaluable to have, you know, those type of people on your team.
Awesome.
I know you just want me to touch on the branding too.
Go. Yeah, do it.
So as far as the branding, like Seth Godin, anything Seth Godin, just like, I don't know if you have like show notes for this, but like anything Seth Godin, just like go look him up. There's a book called Tribes by Seth Godin. And basically what he talks about is being a heretic and not falling into the criteria that people say that you should be, and being a leader, but a leader by wanting to just grow generally everyone. And because of that, they come to you as a source. You don't need 50,000 followers on Instagram. You need 100 loyal people that believe in what you do and that trust what you do and come to you as a source. So like on your social media, like every post that you make about you going out drinking and smoking, or you going out hanging, that's all, this is all sending a message, you know what I'm saying? And these are all opportunities for you to grow your brand. So, I mean, going out to sporting events, I mean, whatever is going on in your industry, you got to get out to these events and start shaking hands with these people. If you want this job, if you want this opportunity, if you want to be in this position as an entrepreneur, where are those people converging? You know what I'm saying? Where are the seminars? Where are they meeting each year? Are they at the CrossFit Games? Is there a huge seminar down in Miami or ATL, you know, where all these music people are? You need to be there. You know what I mean? You need to find a way to get in with these people and just let them know who you are. As far as like you know, people that are trying to get involved with sponsors and things like that, you know, I've been with with multiple different, you know, apparel sponsors, and everyone that I've been with, I've only been with people that I truly believed in, and people that approached me because they saw what I envisioned and what I believed in. But get somebody out there that really is supporting you. Find brands that you support already, and then start letting them know. Start interacting with people. A lot of people just, you know, I know there are a couple of friends of mine, and they were so recently I got brought on as an ambassador for Lululemon, which is a brand I'm really, really proud to be working alongside, because they do so many things in the community. And I don't just mean like charity. I mean, they're just engaged in the local community, and they're built around athletics. So people were asking me when and this is before I became an ambassador. So becoming an ambassador is a very big deal. You don't ask them, you know what I'm saying? They approach you about it, and it's a deep process. well, people were asking me, you know, hey man, how do I become an ambassador? And first I'm like, well, I'm not an ambassador, but the projection that people see is what they're taking in. That's the image, and image is perception.
Everything.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, and if you're throwing out this image, people are going to perceive you for that. So that's the first part of branding, of who you are. You got to know, you know, yourself. But the first thing I told them was, listen, man, y'all got to take y'all's social media profiles off private. Like, no one can even see what you're doing. Like,
for real, bro.
They just hadn't thought about it, you know, and they were just like, oh man, like that's, and I was like, second, like, you know, you need to go to these events, and you need to go, man, randomly, I'll just like walk into, like, you know, I would just walk into the Lululemon store. Like, I'm not doing anything. I don't buy anything. I hang out for like 40 minutes, like tell people what shirts I like, and you know what I mean? But I'm just random. And I don't mean just with that. I just mean with brands that I stand behind, you know, or that I wanted to be involved with, you know, interacting with people, man. You got to go out and show people who you are, and show people your face, and make, you know, everything, every post you make on Facebook and is different from Instagram, is different from Twitter, and every video on YouTube or, you know, Google Hangout. That's all an opportunity for you to create yourself. That's the great thing about, and it's free. That's the crazy thing about, like, today, you don't have to pay for it. I mean, for the first year at CrossFit Lawless, we did not spend a dime, over a dime on any marketing. You know what I mean? It was just all straight social media, hashtag Live Lawless, playing off of all that, and just interacting with people. So, and the last thing I'll say about like branding yourself via social media, when people like your pictures, man, when people comment on your pictures, or they comment on a post, or they ask you questions, man, don't be an ass. Interact with people, because that's what it's about. It's about interaction. You know, somebody puts, oh, you know, awesome, I'm gonna tell them thanks. You know what I'm saying? If somebody asks me a question, I'm gonna try to answer as quickly and as honestly as I can, you know, and create that interaction. Again, it's about, you know, growing your tribe. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people, you know, including you, that, you know, like you said, the progression of the social media from, you know, when I was playing ball overseas on Twitter in 2005 up till like 4 a.m. playing Madden, you know what I mean? To where, you know, what I'm trying to do now is, you know, really share with people and explain to people that, you know, living healthier is something that anyone can accomplish. That's a part of what I push as my brand. You know, greatness is waiting is my big thing, and that's something that's been on my heart for so long. But that's all a part of, you know what I mean? It's coming. It's coming. And people are always asking me. It was kind of, I mean, I'm wearing one of the shirts now, but it was crazy to me when people were like, hey, when are the shirts coming out? Because my brother wants one for his birthday. And I was like, what? I was like blown away, you know? And my whole thing was, you know, all the, you know, portion of the proceeds that come from all the shirts are going to go toward, you know, youth endorsed charities. You know what I mean? We're going to find kids in the community. We're going to sponsor them, pay for their cleats, pay for their bags, pay for all their sporting fees. And that's my way of staying engaged in the community. So that was how I was branding myself. You know, greatness is waiting. So find something that you believe in, and then whatever it is, if it's music, yo, man, you got to go for that. So
dope, man. Very dope. Yeah. And, you know, that just goes to show you, just, you know, putting yourself out there on social media, and, you know, taking a lot of pictures. Even if you're sitting here eating somewhere at a restaurant that you really mess with, take a picture, selfie. You know, people want to hate on you for taking a selfie. Hey, I'm
check in there. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know, and you know, one cool thing I see is whenever people, you know, other businesses come to CrossFit Lawless, they always check in, and vice versa. You know, let people see the business. If you like them, let people know about it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, again, that's how you gain friends and influence people. You know what I'm saying? For
sure, for sure. And yeah, I see you on social media. I'm like, damn, this man got a beard balm that's branded. Like,
yeah. So Lululemon, for like all the athletic gear, and then Sopalicious, who I've been with for going on a year now. They're like all natural. Like I'll make sure I get you some. I'll bring you some when we come up to Atlanta.
Okay.
All natural like soaps. And if you've never used like all natural products, because obviously you go to the store, all natural is like at least $4 more than, you know, and when people, you know, talk about, you know, cancer and people getting sick and all these things that happen these days, you got to remember, like we said before, it's not like it was 20, 30 years ago. So they're making way more using the crappiest, you know, GMOs, you know, genetically modified stuff that we can get. So when I started using all natural soaps and products, like, you know, on my beard and on my skin, I was like, man, like it just made such a huge.
Yeah, you can see the results, right?
Another thing I like about them is, again, you know, believing in the brands that you support. You know, it's a family-owned business. It's, it's a husband and a wife, and they run this whole operation out of their home, and like they're Florida based, so supporting Florida business and small businesses. So and then Eat the Bear, they actually had an athlete search, and a buddy of mine was like, man, you should try to get involved in this athlete search they got. It's like a really cool sponsorship deal. It's like, I mean, out of this world, like perks of being on the team. And I was like, all right. So I joined the little contest, and the owner of the company called me. And when he, I didn't know as much about the products at the time. And I was just like, I'm sure that it's good. But the first thing that he said was, about my social media and how engaged I was in the community. So when he talked about they wanted to be involved in projects that I had in the community, that's when I saw them in like a whole nother light, and again, standing behind that brand, so, and then, my homeboy that does all of our, that does like all the graphics for CrossFit Lawless, and we're working on another one right now, which is Big Man Fitness, which is like just an homage to, bigger guys, just, working out, and you don't gotta be short and cut with the abs. You could be just a big boy, getting it. So yeah, but Sopalicious, Lululemon, Eat the Bear, and yeah, man. I mean, I'm always just involved with different brands. But again, that's because I'm out in the community. If there's an event going on, I'm there. I'll show up. What's going on? I'll come support. I'll get my hands dirty, whatever. But bro,
that's really cool, man. Really cool. Okay, so this is my last question. Well, I got two more questions, but so why CrossFit over just regular, lifting weights at LA Fitness? I mean, that's what I do. I'm at LA Fitness, but why CrossFit? Why CrossFit?
So this is where like this is the fun stuff for me, kind of geeking out a little bit. And I will say that before we go any further, it depends on your goals. If you're lifting for strictly aesthetics, then isometrics and the isolation lifts, what Garen does, what I'm saying, bodybuilding and more of that stuff like in a conventional gym with machines that focus specifically on certain parts of your arm or your back or your leg, that's going to be for you. Now, for me, I don't want that. I want to be as strong as I can. I want to jump as high as I can. I want to run as fast as I can. And I want to look as good as I can naked. But I want all of it. I don't want just one, because like in the most primal sense, what it all comes down to is everyone wants to look better naked. No matter how good you look, you always want to look better. That never changes. You know what I mean? And even more, going back, centuries and, thousands of years. I mean, this is a primal thing where, listen, the better I look, the more the opposite sex I'm going to appeal to. So I mean, if people will say, oh, that's not, they're lying. That's what it comes down to. You want other people to see you for being successful, for being in charge, for being strong, for being fast, for being healthy. And you want them to see you and be like, man, like that is somebody that, that I see what they're doing and I like. That's just what it comes down to. So, people go through different, goals and stuff. But for me, listen, man, I want to be flexible. You know what I mean? I want to be injury free. I want to be able to step onto any platform, any sport. Right now, I have some really, lengthy goals. For those that that don't know, I was injured for about 16 months. I had what Chris Bosh has right now, which was I had a DVT, a deep vein thrombosis. I had a blood clot. I had 2 blood clots on my left side in my chest, and one had actually reached my lung. So my left arm was swollen about 4 inches larger than my right arm. So I've been out about, I was out about 16 months, a little bit more. So I just came back about 7 weeks ago. And I mean, for me, I see a little bit less than that. But for me, my goal is 1, to be injury free because I was out for a long time. And 2, I want to be bigger than I was, but be stronger, be faster. So I want to run a half marathon. After that, I want to do a triathlon. But my goal is to be, when I was training before, I was about 225, 227. So I want to be about 250 lean mass. Yeah. And I want to, my goal is that over time, I want to back squat. Right now, I'm back squat about 405 at 6'8". I want to back squat, over 500. And I want to Olympic snatch. My goal is to get to 300. So for me, it's about, I have these long-term goals. and how can I accomplish that? You know what I'm saying? At the same time, I'm still doing some of I still do the isometrics, you know, but you know, I want to be an all-around athlete, and you know, CrossFit is you know, increased work capacity over broad time and modal domains. So we're trying to do as much as possible in as short a time as possible, and do it in so many different ways. You know, it's constantly varied, functional movements performed at high intensity. So I don't just want to be doing a circuit 30 seconds at a time. I don't just, sometimes I want to work for 40 minutes. Sometimes I'm going to do a sprint that's going to take me 3 minutes. You know, sometimes the weights are really light. Sometimes the weights are really heavy. And for me, and I think for anybody, man, you just got to do what you enjoy. If you just want to be strong as shit, go powerlift.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Back squat and deadlift. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you want to be really fast, you know, and be an endurance runner, then go do that. You know, if you just like to go to the gym, you know, and that's working for you, you know, 5 days a week, you know, I mean, then there's other people that have been saying they've been working out for like 2 years, and it's like, bro, you look the same way you did 2 years ago. But like, you know, but I mean, do what works for you. But bro, this is the one thing that I always tell people: live your life healthy, man. Eat good. Don't be eating crap. Eat nutrient dense foods. And and two, like, just be smart about your training and know what your goals are. Because if you don't have a goal, man, you're just at the gym, just doing nothing. Like just being healthy isn't like, what's your goal, man? Like, what do you want to accomplish? How strong do you want to be? Like, how do you want to look? Like, what's the date? What's the timeline? You know, because normally when you do that, now at least you're starting to work towards your goals, you know? So, but for me, man, that was why I chose CrossFit, man, because I mean, I want to be able to do everything. You know, I'm not looking to be a specialist or what we'll call like a fringe athlete. You know, I mean, I got a good friend of mine, Chad Walker, who used to be with it back when he was with Elite FTS. I mean, you know, talking about basketball in 1100. You know, with a suit, but you're talking about 1100. Now, Chad will tell you that he couldn't run across a 4-lane street without getting winded. You know, because that wasn't his focus for his training. It was everything was being sacrificed to be as strong as he could. You know, now he's got a son. He don't want his son. He want to be able to go play with his son. He doesn't want his son to live like that. Now Chad's taking a different. He's still doing the same training, but now he's eating different. You know, he's getting back to being an athlete again. So, I mean, as long as you're being an athlete, man, I mean, just, you know, keep doing what you're doing. If not, go find the people that can help you out, you know?
Right. That's dope, man. That's dope. Yeah, I remember one of our friends, Mike Howard, back in college, we used to make fun of him and be like, yo, I bet you can't put your elbows together. You're big, but
I can't like stuff the back of their head, you know? I mean, I see a lot of guys like that, you know, but then, you know, I see the other guys, you know what I'm saying, that are, I mean, massive guys with supreme flexibility and mobility, and like, and, you know, as we said before, you know, the goal, everybody wants to look better naked. Also, man, bro, we're all fighting off discrepancy. It's coming for you. No matter what, one day, like, you're going to end up in the grave, no matter what, you know, but how long it takes for you to get there and the quality of life you have, man, I'd like to be able to like sit and stand on my own. You know, I'd like to be able to get around on my own, be coherent, you know, not have all these, you know, allergies and stuff. I'll tell you a cool quick story. One day, I tell this all the time. I was coming out of Publix one day, and it was like me and this like older guy. He was a good looking guy. He was easy like 65, you know, maybe even a little bit older. And he had like, you know, cut off shirt. He kind of had a little, you know, cut to him. Yeah, you know, he had some old sailor tattoos, and just a good looking guy, you know. And walking towards us when we get outside was another old guy, and he was like in a walker, you know. So we passed him, and then this guy goes, he's like, and they weren't too far from age, you know what I mean? The guy walking next to me goes, man, I feel sorry for these sons of bitches. And I was like, you know, but he takes care of himself, you know what I'm saying? And like, that's all I want, man. You know, I want to, you know, I don't have a family yet, but, you know, I want to set a good example for my kids. I want to be able to, you know, to teach them how to power lift, teach them how to do some, you know, isometrics, teach them how to sprint. And I want to be healthy for my family. So I just like to be a full-fledged athlete, you know?
That's cool, man. And I think everybody can agree when you say, you know, you want to be sharp when you're older. You want to be sharp in your later years, just like you are right now. So, you know that
like older and the young dudes just be walking up on you, like, they need to know, like, you know, I'm telling you, one of the old dudes, like, they know, like, no, not him.
It's for real, man. It's for real. You definitely want to be sharp when you get older. So definitely staying in shape, eating the right foods, you know, that's definitely important. So we're gonna close it out right now. This is a question that I ask everybody that I interview, because I like to know, and I'm compiling a book list actually. So what's your favorite book as far as you getting your business started, you know, and also what's your favorite athletic book, if there's a difference?
Yeah. So, man, I don't know if you can even see on the floor.
I see them. I peeped them actually on the side. That's why I asked you.
Yeah. Well, one of the first ones that it just kept coming up whenever I listen to a lot of people's different blogs, you know, and I'm always, I mean, over the way, you know, tons of different platforms, financial, whatever it is, and, you know, motivational fitness. And I would hear about Seth Godin. That's why I mentioned that before. Seth Godin's Tribes. That's a really good one. I mean, and that's when they're like, you need to buy it, and then as soon as you finish, you need to go give it to somebody. I mean, it's the type of book that like I keep like 3 copies just because like I just find somebody.
That again?
Seth Godin's Tribes. Yeah.
Say it one more time. My bad.
No. Seth Godin's Tribes. Tribes by Seth Godin. Yeah. It's a quick read too. It's a real quick read, and that's one just about like, you know, if you're looking to be a leader and like you're looking to do something outside the box, that's a really good read for you. If you're trying to create a culture of who you are and, you know, again, grow your brand, especially, you know, in this age of social media. As far as like a book for business, the first book that I picked up when we said that we were going to launch the business was The Startup of You. And I don't remember who wrote it, but it's the guys that created LinkedIn.
Okay.
And that was another good one because it had a lot of good stories about companies that, you know, were influential at one time, like Blockbuster, who were, you know, approached by Netflix, and they were like, no one will ever do that. You know, like, just imagine that, like, Blockbuster had Netflix on a platter, and they were like, people will never do it because they will always do it like this because this is the only way to do it. You know, and I tell people all the time, man, like, you can't think like that because progression and innovation will always trump you. There's somebody that's hungry and he's sitting in a basement right now and he's thinking of a way to make what you do obsolete, i.e. Uber, and taxis are done. Because, I mean, I don't know if I'm guessing it's probably, you know, pretty big in Atlanta, but, you know, that's another example. You know, they talk about the city of Detroit in that one too. So that's a good one. LinkedIn, The Startup of You, by the guys that created LinkedIn. Tribes by Seth Godin. For fitness, man, I'm trying to think because I have so many of them.
I see you.
7 Habits of Highly Effective People is a really good one. How to Make Friends and Influence People is another just good one for business. Juggernaut Strength 2.0. If you're looking for like a manual on like how to lift and like a manual on like how to get like in-depth programming, as someone that has a training background, I would say Juggernaut Strength from juggernauttraining.com. They have a bunch of books in their store. But going back even further, Starting Training by John Rippetoe, I think. Yeah, that's like one of the old books from like the 80s. But like it's been like revised and even today. It's everything in there because it's timeless. You know, it's how to lift. You know what I'm saying? Literally how to start from 0 to 60. And then the last one I'd say is Arnold Schwarzenegger's Bodybuilding Encyclopedia. Is like, it's a game changer because it's everything from the flexibility, the mobility, if you just want to learn exercises, for the isometrics, for your body, for full body movements, they're in there, as well as nutrition, as well as, like what nutrition really is, vitamins, everything that you could need. And even if you're somebody that wants to compete in bodybuilding or physique, he's got everything in there from the mental side to how to pose. So it's good for anybody looking to just know how to train, learn how to, perform, perfect their isometrics. So, yeah.
Cool, man. Well, that's dope, man. I can tell that you're a reader because you named like 6 books, like off the top of your head. So I know that you definitely invest in your brain and invest in knowledge, So, it's been real, man. I definitely appreciate you coming on today. Marcus Watts, always great to have you, bro. When you come out here to Atlanta soon, let's get up and let's discuss some things, some ideas. Let's make it happen, man. But I definitely appreciate you joining us. Thank you for helping everybody out there to, you know, better themselves. If that helped one person, then our job is good. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Hey, you know, thank you for having me, man. And yeah, you know, we'll definitely link up. Just, you know, for those, you know, if you guys want some more, you know, inspirational stuff, just, you know, go to all my social media outlets or at the Watts Guy. My website's coming soon. greatnessiswaiting.com. And on Facebook, my fan page is the Watts Guy, and I post a lot of like lifting videos and just inspirational stuff on there. So, and also like interact. You know, like I said, man, don't be afraid to interact with people. Let people know, you know, if you want information on something, you know, because they'll probably just, you know, make a post or something, put it out there. I'm getting more into the YouTube videos and stuff. I have a lot of that slated out for this year, and a lot of projects coming, man. So
cool, man. Cool. Well, thank y'all for joining us. Just if you want to check me out, I'm at SJAYY_spacesuit on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Stevie SJ Johnson on Facebook. Get at me, shoot me a line. Anything you need, ask me, direct message me. Let's do it. So thank you again. Thank you, Marcus. And we out of here. Peace.